Did you know that some of the biggest celebrities in Hollywood, sports, and music actually have Black heritage that most people don't realize? In an industry where race and identity are often packaged for mass appeal, many stars either had their background downplayed or were never recognized for their roots at all. So today we're revealing celebrities you probably didn't know were Black. And trust me, some of these names will definitely surprise you. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want more breakdowns of media, culture, and the hidden stories behind your favorite icons. Now, let's get into it. Number 1. Maya Rudolph. Maya Rudolph is one of the most beloved comedians of her generation, known for her unforgettable characters on Saturday Night Live and her roles in comedies like Bridesmaids and Big Mouth. But what many casual fans don't realize is that Maya is the daughter of Minnie Riperton, a legendary Black singer whose 5-octave range gave us the timeless ballad, Lovin' You. Minnie Riperton was a groundbreaking figure in music, and her influence lives on through Maya, not only musically, but also culturally. Maya's father, Richard Rudolph, is a white music producer, which makes her biracial. But growing up, she's spoken about how difficult it was at times to navigate her identity. She has said that while she was surrounded by music and art in her childhood, she was also aware of the racial complexities of the entertainment world. On screen, Maya is often cast in roles that don't reference her background directly, leading many fans to assume she is fully white. But she has always identified as biracial and has been candid about her experiences growing up mixed. Her connection to her mother's legacy remains strong, and she has carried Minnie Riperton's memory with her throughout her career. Number 2. Rashida Jones. Rashida Jones is instantly recognizable for her roles as Karen in The Office and Ann Perkins in Parks and Recreation. She has also thrived as a writer, director, and producer. But what often gets overlooked is her powerful family background. Rashida is the daughter of Quincy Jones, one of the most celebrated producers in music history. His work with Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, and countless others left an undeniable impact on modern popular music. Her mother, Peggy Lipton, was a glamorous white actress, best known for the Mod Squad in the late 1960s. Growing up, Rashida was immersed in both television and music, yet she often described feeling torn between two identities. Because of her lighter skin tone, many assumed she was white, and Hollywood leaned into that assumption. Casting directors gave her roles that ignored her Black heritage, leading to years of public perception that didn't reflect her full identity. Rashida has shared that this left her feeling alienated at times, since she never fully fit into Hollywood's narrow racial categories. Despite these challenges, Rashida built a remarkably successful career. She co-wrote Toy Story 4, contributed to Black Mirror, and produced acclaimed documentaries. Her versatility shows she is more than an actress. She's a storyteller with an extraordinary range. Number 3, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter is one of the most iconic names in baseball history. A 5-time World Series champion, 14-time All-Star, and member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Jeter is remembered as the face of the New York Yankees for nearly 2 decades. But beyond his accomplishments on the field, what many fans don't realize is that Derek Jeter is biracial. His father, Charles Jeter, is Black, and his mother, Dorothy, is white. Growing up in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Jeter faced racism and prejudice from an early age. In interviews, he has shared stories of people making comments about his parents' interracial marriage and about him being biracial in a community where that wasn't always accepted. Those experiences fueled his determination to succeed, not only in baseball, but also in representing himself with pride and dignity. Jeter's heritage is often overlooked because of how he carried himself in the public eye. Known for his professionalism, he rarely discussed personal matters during his career. To many, he was simply the Yankees captain, the man who seemed untouchable on the field. Yet his identity as a biracial man shaped his perspective and resilience throughout his career. After retiring, Jeter has been more open about using his platform to inspire the next generation. He founded the Turn 2 Foundation, aimed at helping young people make healthy life choices. and he has spoken about the importance of representation. Number 4, Wentworth Miller. Wentworth Miller rose to fame as Michael Scofield in the hit series Prison Break. His piercing stare and intricate escape plans made him a fan favorite. But what many people don't realize is that Miller is biracial. His father, Wentworth Earl Miller II, is a black man of Jamaican descent, while his mother is white with a mix of European ancestry. Because of his appearance, Miller has often been seen as racially ambiguous. He has spoken openly about how audiences and casting directors alike often assumed he was white. But beneath that perception lies a much more complex reality. Miller has said that while he doesn't look black, he has always identified with his father's heritage and the cultural struggles that come with it. In addition to his racial identity, Miller has also been vocal about his sexuality and mental health. Coming out as gay in 2013, he revealed how difficult it had been to live under Hollywood's pressures while hiding parts of himself. Similarly, he has opened up about depression and darker thoughts, making him a powerful advocate for mental health awareness. In Hollywood, where casting has often been based on rigid ideas of race and appearance, Miller stands as proof that identity is far more complicated than what's visible on the surface. Number 5, Jennifer Beals. Jennifer Beals shot to stardom in 1983 with Flashdance, a film that became a cultural phenomenon. With her iconic dance routines and unforgettable fashion, think off-the-shoulder sweatshirts, Beals became a household name. Yet few people at the time knew she was biracial. Her father was black and her mother was Irish-American. Growing up in Chicago, Beals was aware of how her mixed identity shaped her experiences. She has talked about navigating the divide between being seen as not black enough or not white enough, a common struggle for biracial individuals. Hollywood at the time wasn't interested in promoting complex racial identities, so her heritage was rarely acknowledged in the press or in her roles. In fact, when Flashdance was released, many fans assumed she was white. The movie itself made no reference to her background, and the industry was happy to let audiences think what they wanted. Yet Beals never denied her heritage. She has consistently identified as biracial and spoken about the importance of representation. Her later career included her acclaimed role on The L Word, where she portrayed Bet Porter. The show was groundbreaking for LGBTQ+ representation and gave Beals the chance to take on a role filled with nuance and emotional depth. While it didn't reflect her own heritage, it allowed her to show her range as an actress. Number 6, Pete Wentz. Pete Wentz, the bassist and lyricist of Fall Out Boy, helped shape the sound of the 2000s pop-punk scene. With hits like Dance Dance and Sugar We're Going Down, his band dominated MTV and the radio. But what many fans don't know is that Pete has Jamaican heritage. His maternal grandfather was of Jamaican descent, making Pete part of a lineage often overlooked in the world of punk rock. Wentz has occasionally spoken about his mixed background, explaining that it influenced his worldview in subtle but meaningful ways. In interviews, he's reflected on how identity is not always obvious at first glance, and how being biracial shaped how he thought about belonging. In a genre often criticized for being dominated by white performers, Wentz's background is an important reminder that black heritage exists across all kinds of music. While most people associate black culture with hip-hop, R&B, or jazz, Pete represents the reality that rock and punk have also been shaped by people of color. Despite this, his heritage was rarely part of his public persona. Fall Out Boy's success was built around their music and image, and the industry never highlighted Wentz's Jamaican roots. For many fans, the revelation of his ancestry came as a surprise. Number 7, Carol Channing. Carol Channing was a Broadway legend, best known for Hello, Dolly and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. With her distinctive voice and larger-than-life personality, she became one of the most recognizable performers in theater history. But few fans knew that Channing had black ancestry. In her memoir, Channing revealed that her father, George Channing, was a black German-American newspaper editor. Throughout her career, however, this part of her identity was hidden. The entertainment industry of her era was especially not welcoming to stars who openly embraced black heritage, especially if their appearance allowed them to pass as white. Channing herself acknowledged this, explaining that her family background was rarely discussed during her rise to stardom. For decades, audiences saw her as a white Broadway star, unaware of the truth about her ancestry. Channing's story is a powerful example of how systemic racism shaped the careers of entertainers. Her success was built on immense talent, but the industry forced her to navigate identity in silence. Only later in her life did she feel comfortable sharing the truth, a revelation that shocked many fans. Number 8. Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle became a household name first, through her role on the legal drama Suits, and later as the Duchess of Sussex after marrying Prince Harry. Her biracial identity has been a defining part of her life. Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, is a black woman from Los Angeles, while her father, Thomas Markle, is white. Growing up, Meghan said she often felt unseen by casting directors. She was considered too white for some roles and too black for others. That frustration became a regular part of her early career in Hollywood. Her marriage into the British royal family in 2018 made her heritage an international subject of conversation. The media scrutiny she faced was relentless, and much of it carried openly racist undertones. Meghan herself has spoken about how deeply that period affected her mental health. Through interviews and her own writing, Meghan has highlighted the complexities of being biracial in the spotlight. Her story is not only about Hollywood or royalty, but also about what it means to live under constant public judgment while carrying an identity that the world often struggles to understand. Number 9. Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is one of the most successful and influential singers in history. With her extraordinary 5-octave range, she has sold hundreds of millions of records and delivered timeless hits like Hero, Fantasy, and All I Want for Christmas Is You. Yet many people do not realize she is biracial. Her father, Alfred Carey, was of African American and Afro-Venezuelan descent. Her mother, Patricia Hickey, is Irish American. Growing up in Long Island, Mariah endured racism and bullying. She has recalled traumatic experiences from her childhood that left her feeling isolated, both at school and in her neighborhood. These struggles influenced her songwriting. Themes of pain, survival, and identity often appear in her music. Her voice carried not just technical brilliance, but also emotional weight shaped by her early life. Despite the challenges, Carey rose to global superstardom. She became one of the best-selling artists of all time, breaking records with her albums and singles. Throughout her career, she has embraced her heritage and spoken openly about how it shaped her. Number 10. Troian Bellisario. Troian Bellisario became famous for her role as Spencer Hastings on Pretty Little Liars. The show was wildly popular with teen audiences and ran for 7 seasons, cementing her as one of the era's defining young actresses. Many viewers never realize that Troian is biracial. Her mother, Deborah Pratt, is a black woman of Creole descent, while her father, Donald Bellisario, is an Italian-American television producer. Troian grew up surrounded by television, since both of her parents were heavily involved in the industry. Yet her mixed heritage was rarely acknowledged publicly. On screen, she was almost always cast in roles that made no mention of race. She has acknowledged her identity in interviews and credited her mother with shaping her worldview. As her career developed, she also spoke about the importance of representation, especially for young audiences who rarely saw biracial characters portrayed authentically on television. Bellisario's career demonstrates the quiet presence of biracial actors in Hollywood, many of whom rarely had the chance to show their full identity on screen. From Maya Rudolph to Troian Bellisario, these celebrities prove that race and identity in Hollywood have always been more complex than they appear. Some stars embraced their black heritage publicly, while others had it hidden by an industry that wasn't ready to accept them. Which of these celebrities surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold stories of culture, history, and media. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.